In the previous video, we introduced you to the abstract concept of a data frame and showed you an example. In this video, I want to show you how to access a data frame from Jupyter Notebooks. As you see here, we're opened up in Jupyter Notebooks. This is the Microsoft Azure notebook version of it, but it's the same principle as Jupyter Notebooks. As you noted, you can navigate within it within the file structure. So navigate to get to where the file you want to open is, and in this case I've done that, and this is the file that I'll be wanting to open. And then at that point you create a new file. Here you have a choice between F#, Python 2, Python 3, Python 3.6, and R. I'm going to choose a Python 3 notebook, and we create this and we open, and when we open we can have a title here. I'm going to title this as M and M notebook and press rename so that we have this. So this is set up to work now in Python 3. Now, in terms of handling my data, I'm going to want to use the pandas package for Python, and so in order to do that I choose this cell here, right? The Jupyter Notebook will consist of cells, and in this first cell I'm going to type import pandas, P-A-N-D-A-S, as PD, and this is actually traditional to import pandas and to rename it as PD. I'm now going to press Shift and Enter, and when I do that, you see the little asterisk comes up to tell me it's doing something. When a number comes up, that means it's done. So I've imported the pandas package. Now I want to import my M&M data frame. I'm going to call my M&M data frame MM and say equals PD, okay, READ underscore EXCEL, okay, because I'm going to read the Excel file that this data is stored in. I've forgotten the name, so I'm going to click back to that tab, and the tab is MNM underscore data frame XLSX. Okay, so I'll press my single quote M&M underscore data frame, and double checking, yeah, it's all undercase now, dot XLSX. Okay, now if I press this and it gives me a mistake, I'll know I've misspelled something. So let me Shift and Enter my little asterisk, and it's in. I have my data frame in now. And I want to look at my data frame, and whenever you load something in, it's very good practice to look at it. Often though, these data frames are very large. I'm going to type M&M dot, okay, HEAD, and then parentheses to indicate that this is a function. Now I don't have any argument for my function. I leave it empty. Now I press Shift and Enter, and this gives me about the first 6 rows of my data frame. You know, and as you recall, it's only a 10-row data frame to begin with, but most of the time we will be dealing with data frames which are much larger. I can also get information about just exactly how big my data frame is. I type mm.shape, okay, press shift and enter, and it gives me 10 and 6. This tells me that I have 10 rows, okay, as we know, because we had 10 bags that we typed in here, and I have 6 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sure, 6 columns. And so my data frame is 10 by 6. I could easily type it in and we could see all of it without disturbing how things look much. As it is, I'm just going to leave it right here. I will want to see do want to show you how some of my entries are, and to do that I'm going to type mm.loc, right, for location, parentheses, and this actually it's not a parentheses, it's a square bracket, and that's important. You get an error if you put parentheses here instead. And now say I want to pick out what is on my 6th row, and in the column, well, column green, Green, spell it correctly, green, shift, enter, and so it's 3. Well, I don't know if that's correct or not. But it did give me an answer. Let me pick one. I'll know. Let's say 1 green. And so 1 green, it gave me a 5. I want to show, what if I put something that's strange? What if I put a 0 there? And it comes up with an error. Why does it come up with an error here? Because it says the 0 label is not in the index. Okay, because this first column here is my index column, and it doesn't have a 0 in it. Now it does go to 10, so if I put a 10 there, it'll come back with what the entry is at the 10th row. If I type in a purple here, it similarly gives me an error because purple is not in the index, right? Got purple not in the index over here. Now, so let me, because I'm a little bit OCD, I'm going to put the RED back in. Okay, so everything's nice and pretty again. I'm going to show you something a little bit different. I'm going to go mm.iloc, and here I put in a 0 in the first one before, and it gave me an error. Here I'm going to put in 0, 0. I should get a double error, right? But I don't, okay, because iloc finds it by the numerical index, and Pandas starts numbering rows with 0 and columns with 0. So I could look any of these. I could go mm.iloc, and if I want to get this entry here, the first row in the brown column, if I type that, comma 5, shift enter, that gives me the number 2 there, because it begins counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that is how we index this. This is how you can load Pandas, load a data frame from an Excel file, and then access individual data items. And I think that's enough for now.